Okay, good evening, my dear students, and welcome to today's lesson. I hope you are doing great, and I hope you had an amazing weekend too. Let's start with today's class. Give me just a second. I'll start by greeting you, and then we will go for some important reminders, and we will start with the new topics for this week. Okay, so good evening, Mayra, Anna, Anderson, Andrea, Angelica, Diana, Jennifer, John, Silvia, Stephanie, Judy, and Andres Alvarez. I hope you're doing great. Thank you so much for being here and for being on time. Quick reminder about this week that is just started. We have classes today, tomorrow, and on Friday. Okay, remember, we will not have classes on Wednesday, neither Thursday, because they are, well, Wednesday because we have the Dia de Velitas, which is Noche de Velitas, so we won't have classes that day. And on the Thursday, December the 8th, well, it's a public festivity, it's a public holiday here in Colombia, so we won't have classes either. So we just have classes today, Monday, tomorrow, Tuesday, and on Friday. Okay, and this week we are going to be working on Unit 3 for this program, which is the Super Intensivo B1.1. So on Unit 3, we're going to be dealing with, well, you already started working on Unit 3, which was daily routines. But just a second, because I think I don't know what happened, but I think it's the wrong book. Let me check again. Yeah, because Unit 3 is about comparatives and superlatives and natural features. I think I was checking the wrong book, sorry. Yeah, this is our book. So yeah, you started working on Unit 3 on Friday with Professor Madeline. You were talking about comparatives and superlatives. That's why in today's lesson, we're going to start with a Kahoot as a general review to connect previous knowledge. Then we will continue with the next 2 pages. I mean, the 2 pages for today are 28 and 29 for the first shift. It's all about features and sites. So we're going to have some communicative activities as usual, some practice on the book, some online activities to complement this. And then you will continue with the other 2 pages, okay? Now, something important to remember for you to consider. Whenever you cannot attend the sessions, well, first of all, thank you so much for informing me and for informing your teacher, your professor. But remember, it's important that you send an email to the coordinator office, to the coordinators, to let them know about your particular situation, because it has to be done like that. Okay, so you have to send them an email where your situation, with your particular situation, will be revised. And if you have some, I don't know, supporting documentation, it's important that you attach that supporting documentation to the email, okay? There are special cases, of course, but everything has to be done via coordination. It's not enough with informing your teachers that you cannot attend the class for certain reasons. There has to be a protocol that has to be followed. And remember the number of absences that are permitted. Okay, very quickly in Spanish, I'm going to say it. Recuerden que tenemos una asistencia del 80% mínimo obligatoria para aprobar el curso. En ese orden de ideas, cada vez que de pronto ustedes no puedan asistir a la clase o que tengan un retraso, gracias primero que todo pues por informarnos, ¿sí? A nosotros los profesores. Sin embargo, es importante que ustedes alleguen a las coordinaciones respectivas la documentación de soporte e informen el caso, ¿sí? Para que se le dé un estudio y un manejo a cada caso particular para saber si la excusa es válida o no es válida. ¿Listo? Entonces, porfa, ténganlo muy presente. Hay que llegar toda la documentación respectiva a coordinación para hacer el estudio del caso y saber si la excusa se valida o no se valida. Good. So let's retake. On Friday, you were talking about comparatives and superlatives. And so we're going to start today's lesson by having a short Kahoot as a reminder. And after the Kahoot, we will go for the 2 pages for the first turn of, for the first shift of tonight's lesson. So it is here. And remember, if you have your cell phone by your side, it would be great because that way you can see the questions from my screen and see the potential answers from your cell phones or from the second screen that you have. If not, you could always go for a second tab and you just have to swap in between tabs, okay? Right, so this is the Kahoot to practice a little bit based on what you studied on Friday. And then we will continue with the other topics regarding natural features and so on. What happened here? No, I think it's been updated. Cool. Okay. So this is a bit number 683-900H. There you go. Okay, so congratulations to the winners, and thank you everybody for having participated in this Kahoot activity as a reminder of the topic you were breaking on Friday. Oh, come on. Okay, great. There you go. Now let's go for it to check the bar, but it only applies for soccer. Yeah, I know the last one is an ambiguous question. I think the red one is also possible because, well, we don't have enough context so as to know whether the person is feeling worse or better than yesterday. But based on the picture, I mean, grammatically speaking, both are correct. Yeah, but based on the picture, I would then say that the blue one is more accurate according to the picture. Both grammatically speaking, once again, both are correct. But according to the context that we were presented with, I think the blue one would be more accurate than the red one. She wasn't feeling okay at all, definitely. Cool. All right. So let's take a look at the book here. We're going to be working on features and sites. So there is a, short vocabulary presentation for us to focus on that is related to some of these features. And then we will be working on some communicative activities. Okay. So these are some of the geographical features we are going to be working on today, plus the ones that are on the book. Okay. Good. So the first one is the beach. A beach is an area of sand or small stones near the sea or any other area of water, such as a lake. Next, we have an island. Okay, please notice the pronunciation here is island. Okay, island, no S. Even though we have an S here, we don't pronounce it, because if we pronounce it, it would be Iceland, which is the country. Okay, island, well, is an area of water or a piece of land, not an area of water, an area of land or a piece of land surrounded by water. And well, there is also Ireland, which is, another country, which happens to be an island. Okay, it is the same case for Iceland. They are islands, yeah, which are countries, but the pronunciation is different. Please see the chat. So the first one in the chat, Icelandic language is spoken, and where the Vikings lived for some time in the past, yeah, is Iceland. Okay. Now, Ireland is the one that we're studying, that we're reviewing in this moment. And the third one is Ireland, which is another island, which is a country too. Normally I joke around with this, so you can come with a tongue twister. Tongue twister is like trabalenguas. So I came up with my own tongue twister with these three words. So you can say that Iceland is an island that is not Ireland, and Ireland is another island that is not Iceland. So it's a crazy tongue twister. I will actually type it in the chat. Iceland is an island that is not Ireland, and Ireland is another island that is not Iceland. To practice. Iceland is an island that is not Ireland, and Ireland is another island that is not Iceland. Now you know the difference between Iceland, Ireland, and island. And once again, the one that deals with geographical features is island, a piece of land completely surrounded by water. Now let's go for the next one, which is river. Okay, notice the pronunciation here, river. Please be careful, because sometimes we confuse it with river. Okay, but no, in this case it's river. So a river is a natural wide flow of fresh water across the land into the sea, a lake, or another river. Now, well, let's talk about beaches and islands and rivers and everything, because they are geographical features. So let's go back for a second to the first slide. Beach, some famous beaches could be like Copacabana Beach. We also have like Aruba, Curacao. Here in Colombia, we have San Andres, Old Providence, but those are islands, sorry. So beaches, no, Copacabana Beach. Yeah, maybe what other beaches are beautiful? I don't know, the ones that we have maybe in Cartagena, the ones that we have in the Pacific part of the country. There are some beautiful beaches there. Like for example, in San Bernardo del Viento, in Sucre, you know, there are some beautiful beaches there. Now, islands, let's go back to the islands. We have Aruba, we have Curacao, we have St. Martin, which are in the Caribbean, just above Venezuela, but are part of the Netherlands in overseas. We also have the Bahamas, we have the Canary Islands, we have the Maldives, we have the Malvines, we have, again, San Andreas, we have Old Providence, we have Malpelo, Isla Pájaro here, which is like a tiny island, yeah, where there are many birds. And what else? The Seychelles, which are beautiful islands too. And there are many others around the world. Now let's go for rivers. We have many rivers here in Colombia. We have the Orinoco River, we have the Amazon River, we have the Magdalena River, we have Chicamocha River. Colombia is full of hydric sources, and that's something that we have to consider and take care of. Now, mountain, okay, mountain. Sometimes native speakers go and say mountain, yeah, very quickly, like nasal. A mountain is a raised part of the Earth's surface, much larger than a hill, the top of which might be covered in snow. So, for example, the Everest, okay, it's a mountain. We call it the Mount Everest, but it's a mountain in reality. K2 is also a mountain. On the contrary, we have mountain ranges, okay? Mountain range, on the other hand, is a group of a line of mountains with a particular name, like the Andes, like the Alps, the Appalachian, the the Rocky Mountains. Those are examples of mountain ranges, okay? So as you can see from the picture, mountain ranges or a mountain range is a series or a group of line of different mountains, one after the other, which receive a particular name, yeah, just to contrast it with a mountain. So mountain would be montaña, and the other one, it's like cordillera, right? We have forest. A forest is a large area of land covered with trees and plants, usually larger than a wood or the trees and plants themselves. You can also call the forest the wood or the woods, okay? Those are synonyms. Forest would be, a synonym for forest would be the wood or even the woods. It's different from the Amazon, because the Amazon is a tropical rainforest, okay, which is a little bit different. Now we have a valley, okay, valley. Notice in English, it's very important that we make the distinction between the labiodental V, which is this one, V, and the bilabial B, right? So as the name itself indicates, labiodental, we need the upper teeth and the lower lips to articulate the sound. And it causes vibration. Let me show you in the camera, right? So the lower lips touch the upper teeth, but the other one, which is bilabial, again, we gotta put the upper lips and the lower lips together to make the sound, B, B, and V. In English, it's very important that we make the difference between one and the other. So a valley, it's an area of lowland between hills or mountains, often with a river running through it. So not far from Bucaramanga, we have a valley, we have a canyon, and we have a river. Yeah, so we have the Chicamocha Canyon, where we can see the Chicamocha River, and in between the two mountains, in the middle of the river, there is a valley where Cepita, for example, is located. Another example could be the valley there in part of the United States of America, which is one of the deadliest places on Earth, precisely because the temperatures there are really, really high. Okay, let me just create some light. Good, so that's a valley. Let's continue. We have hill, an area of land that is higher than the surrounding land. Now here in Bucaramanga, yeah, we have different universities like Universidad Industrial de Santander. We have UNAP, we have UNAD, we have UCC, but there is one on the way to the cemetery that is called UDES, which is Universidad de Santander. Now, this part of the city is called the hills. Yeah, in Spanish, we refer to this part of the city as the hills or las colinas because of obvious reasons, right? So a hill is an area of land that is higher than the surrounding land. Next, we have a coast, okay? Coast is the land next to or close to the sea. A sea, the salty water that covers a large part of the surface of the earth, or a large share of salty water smaller than an ocean that is partly or completely surrounded by land. Now, here's a question for you. Let's see if you know the answer. How many seas on average? Because, well, there are different classifications, mainly regarding oceanography. So how many seas on average are there in the world? Any ideas? The question is in the chat, and I'll repeat it once again. Okay, great, perfect. You hit the nail on the head, Brian. That's the answer. So there are 7 seas in the world. Actually, there is a classical piece of literature in English, which is Sinbad and the 7 Seas, Sinbad el Marino, Sinbad and the 7 Seas. I think it's the name of in English. In Spanish, it would be like Sinbad el Marino, right? So 7 seas in total. We have, for example, the closest one here is the Caribbean Sea, yeah, because we have ocean. We have 2 oceans here, which is something different, which is the next one, yeah. An ocean is a very large area of sea. Now, the question is, how many oceans are there in the world? How many oceans are there in the world? Any ideas? How many oceans?
5, I believe.
That is correct. On average, there are, how many oceans are there in the world? On average, there are 5 oceans, yeah? But yet again, there might be different classifications, different categories, depending mainly on oceanography and oceanographers, which are the study and the people in charge, respectively, of studying the oceans and the seas, right? So can you tell them? Can you mention them? We have 2 here in Colombia. We have the Pacific and the Atlantic Ocean. What about the other 3?
The Antarctic.
That's one. So we have 3.
Indian.
That's 4. Okay, the Pacific, the Atlantic, the Antarctic, the Indian, and there is one more.
The one which is in Australia, near Australia. I cannot remember that name.
Yeah, where the Polynesia and these areas are. Yeah, but again, to be honest, I don't remember the one here in this moment. But yes, there are 5 in total, and there are 7. Yeah, seven seas on the other hand. So we have the Dead Sea, the Red Sea. We have the Caribbean Sea. We have Japanese Sea, which is the Mar de Japón. And well, again, there are different oceans and seas. Yeah, desert, okay, an area often covered with sand or rocks where there is very little rain and not many plants. Now, there is a difference both in terms of the spelling and in terms of pronunciation. I'm gonna give you some examples of deserts, like the Sahara Desert, the Atacama Desert. We have here one in Colombia, which is La Tatacoa, if I'm not mistaken. Instead, we have deserts, yeah? Deserts deal with what you eat after meals or in between meals. Examples of desserts could be like tiramisu, which is a traditional Italian-based dessert. We have brownie and ice cream, which is very common here in Colombia. We have fresas con crema, which is another traditional dessert here in Colombia. We have cheesecakes, Yeah, Oreo cheesecake, wild berries cheesecake, red berries cheesecake. We have, oh my, I mean, I love desserts, but I come up with different desserts right now.
Napoleon.
I was thinking about that one. I think that's very Spanish too. We have alfajores, but those are more like, you know, more like candy related. But yes, we have different, those are different examples of desserts. So notice the difference between dessert, which is with only one S, and with a Z, dessert, and the other one is dessert. Okay, intonation is
Dessert
also
is the postre?
yeah,
it?
That the second one
Dessert.
with double S, dessert, that is yes, tiramisu, brownie, ice cream, fresas con crema, cheesecake, Napoleon. Those are examples of desserts. And dessert instead, we have the Sahara Desert, the Atacama Desert, the Tatacoa Desert, and so on. Something of notice is that there are also cold deserts, okay, hilly deserts. So it's not only for hot lands, but also, for example, in the Antarctica, I think where there is a nice desert. Good. Now let's continue. We have a mountain range, which we explained just before, a volcano. Okay, a volcano is a mountain with a large circular hole at the top through which lava, hot liquid rock, gases, steam, and dust are have been forced out. As a matter of fact, a couple of days ago, the biggest active volcano in the world, which is in Hawaii, started to erupt. I don't know if you have pay attention to the news, but this is something that is happening
Yes.
worldwide. Yeah, it's very
I read.
important. We have some volcanoes here in Colombia too, like in La Sierra Nevada de Santa Marta. I think that there is a volcano. And there is a volcano Nevado del Ruiz, Lleras, if I'm not mistaken. So those are examples of volcanoes here in Colombia. Okay. Well, these are different animals that we can find in these different regions. Yeah, like the dog, the llama, the chimpanzee, the dolphin, the camel, the snake, the horse, the elephant, rat, a whale, a donkey, a fish, and so on. But we're not gonna do that deep into the animals, okay? Because mainly those were just examples of animals that inhabit these different features in these different geographical regions. But the book doesn't really contemplate them. So we're just gonna skip that part. Okay. Oh my god, this book closes very, very, very often. Let me go back to it. I'm gonna check the settings. Good. Now on book, we have some other features and sites that I'd like us to attend to. There is a camera on. Hay una cámara encendida. Okay, great. Ya está apagada. Cool. So yeah, here on the book, we have some others. The ones that the books propose are as follows. So we have ancient ruins, like for example, in Italy, there are lots of ancient ruins. Here in Colombia, of course, we have some, like the Ciudad Perdida, I think is in la Sierra, in the Tayrona Park, in Sierra Nevada, Santa Marta, something like that, where you can find ancient ruins. But definitely there in Italy, for example, you have the Colosseum, you have the gallery and others, a bay, a beach, which we were discussing before, a bridge, like there is an important bridge here in Colombia, which is the one with La Batalla del Puente Boyacá, to be honest, I was disappointed when I went there the first time. I was maybe like 10 years old, and we got to the place, and I was like, okay, so where's the famous bridge? And so my dad was like, that's you see the tiny bridge there? That's the bridge. And I was like, oh my god, are you for real? I was, yeah, that's the bridge. But we also have like the Brooklyn Bridge. Here in Bucaramanga, we have La Novena, which is a very popular place with tourists nowadays. There are other important bridges all over the world, which are man-made, and not just man-made, but there are some bridges that are also naturally made. Yeah, a canal which can be man-made or naturally made, like the Panama one, like the Gulf one, and we have many others that are important in terms of geopolitics. A cathedral, like in Barcelona, you know, there is la Catedral de la Sagrada Familia, so it's a very important tourist place with tourists all around the world. A cliff. Now, a cliff, it's, you will find this feature by the sea, okay? It's a very, very high accumulation of land and rocks from which you can jump, and they are very dangerous, right? That's a cliff. Docks with C and K. Let me show you. That's the brand. That's the word. Let me show you some pictures. Don't worry, we will be practicing in these features and others as well too. So yeah, normally they are used for knees, and you can see them in pictures. So this is like a cliff. Okay, there's a very, very high elevation of land that is just by the shore of the sea. Yeah, and they are dangerous. Look at how high this one is. I don't know if you can see the person. It looks like an ant actually. So they are very, very, very high and dangerous places. That is a height. Now a dock, it's normally in a bay, yeah, where you will normally find different ships, you know, like yachts, like sailors and so on, and they can be used for different purchases. Yeah, also for fishing. Oh, okay. Yes, similar. That's a really good song. Perfect. Thank you very much. Sorry. That's there is a video that I'd like to show you, but not now. I just wrong clicked. Let's go back to the book. Okay. A factory. Now, a factory is, for example, here in Bucaramanga, according to the POT, Plan de Organización Territorial, the industries cannot be like in the city. So that's why we have, for example, Chinita on the way to Giron, where there are loads of factories and companies, etc. Right? Farmland. Now, a farmland is land that is used for farming purposes. Like, for example, in Lebrija, not far from here, there are farmlands. Also on the way to Zapatoca, just after Giron or Nuevo Giron, if you haven't had the chance to go there, there are farmlands that are used for growing like lemons and tangerines and oranges and so on. So Colombia indeed has a lot of lands for farming, you know. The extension of farming land here in Colombia, it's to be considered, mainly because we are a agricultural based country and other economic sources of money, you know. A festival, well, it's something that is arranged, an activity that is arranged every now and then. Like in Colombia, we have some, sorry?
Negros y Blancos Festival.
Okay, yes, we have the Negros y Blancos Festival, which is Dia de la Raza. I think it was renamed Dia de la Raza. We also, nowadays, like right now in Villa de Leyva, we have the Candles Festival, yeah, el Festival de las Velitas, there in Villa de Leyva. And also in Villa de Leyva, there is the Kite Festival, Festival de las Cometas. So here in Colombia, we have a lot of festivals. Also, we have carnivals, like the one they celebrate in Barranquilla. But yeah, those are examples of festivals. A rainforest, the rainforest is the Amazon. The Amazon is a rainforest. It's called a rainforest because it rains a lot. It downpours in these type of forests, among other reasons. A harbor.
Choco.
In the Choco, it rains a lot. Actually, in Choco, there is a town or a village called Lloró, which is the wettest place on Earth. Yeah, it is the one geographical point on Earth where it rains the most in the whole world. So we have it here in Colombia. It's called Lloró. A harbor, like for example, from the movie Pearl Harbor, remember? So a harbor, it's normally in the sea where you can harbor, because harbor, it's both a noun and a verb. Yeah, but you can harbor different types
Similar
of
to dog?
Sorry?
Is similar to dog?
It's similar to dog, but it's bigger in extension and in purposes.
Harbor or dog? Who is more extent?
Harbor is bigger. Harbor is bigger. Good. A hill, we just discussed hill, an island, again, we discussed an island, a lake. We have some important lakes, for example, they're in Canada, in the United States of America, Lago Menor, Lago Mayor, and one of the biggest lakes in the world, if not the biggest one, I think is in Russia, but I don't remember the name right now. So those are important hydrate sources. A market, which is like local people who go into the streets and they establish a market or a fair. For example, in Las Cigarras Park or in some other parks, in different moments of the year, you can see a market there. So there are artists, there are local people who are selling their products. Yeah, so this could be an example of a market. A monument, we have many monuments. We have sculptures. We have monuments in homage to something or to someone. Here in Bucaramanga, for example, in Los Niños Park, Parque de los Niños, we have some monuments that are about the traditional threesome, musical threesome here, yeah? Los tríos musicales típicos de Santander, which are comprised of tiple, requinto, and the guitar, yeah? So those monuments that are there in Los Parque, in the children park, the Parque de los Niños, it's about this folkloric aspect that we have here in Santander. A mosque is a religious place where the Muslim people, if I'm not mistaken, go and pray. We have a mosque here. Islamism. Okay, that's sometimes I confuse Muslim and the Islam religion. Let's find it in the Cambridge Online Dictionary, and let's see exactly the religion. There is a mosque here in Colombia. I think it's not La Mezquita de Omar, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's related to my name. I'll show you. I think it's in, I don't remember exactly where, but I'll show you. Okay, so mosque. Okay, a building for Islamic religious activities. It's not Muslims, but Islamic people. Good. And there is a mosque here in Colombia. I just wanted to show you. Mosque in Colombia. I don't know if you know, but there is one in Maicao. Okay, great, perfect. Thank you very much, Diana. It's in La Guajira in Maicao. There is a mosque. Now, if you want to visit it, it would be interesting. Mosque of Omar Ibn al-Khattab. Sorry, I don't know Arabic, but I try my best with these Arabic names. So that's something interesting. Maybe if you have some spare time in holidays, you can go there and visit it. Of course, there are some beautiful mosques all over the world. They are full of color. They are full of gold. They are full of pearls and precious stones, such as diamonds and emeralds and so on and so forth. Mosques are indeed beautiful places. Museums. We have some important museums like Musée d'Orsay. There in Paris. We have the Louvre. Here in Santander, in Bucaramanga, we have Museo de Arte Moderno. We have La Casa de Bolívar, which is like a tiny museum. Inside the university, inside Universidad Industrial de Santander, there is a museum, tiny museum too. Palaces, yeah, they are great man-made buildings, constructions. I was gonna say something, yeah, but that's a temple. The temple of it's in India, if I'm not mistaken, and it's one of the most beautiful ones in my perspective, in my humble opinion, which is the Taj Mahal. And it took like more than 7 generations in order to be built, and it's made of marble, white marble. So we have also shopping malls like El Cacique, like Caracolí, La Florida, Cañaveral, Cuarta Etapa, Quinta Etapa, and the other De La Cuesta, and the other shopping malls that we have here. Skyscraper. Well, I wouldn't say that we have skyscraper here. because they are really, really, really tall buildings, like 100 floors compared to the ones that there are in New York, in Japan, and even in some Arabic countries, yeah, like in Dubai. A temple, we already mentioned temple. A view, it's literally a view, like a viewpoint. If you go to the airport here in Palo Negro, on the way to the airport, there is a beautiful viewpoint, which we traditionally call El Mirador, yeah? So you can go there and have a beautiful view from the city. You can also go to La Mesa de los Santos, and you can, that's another viewpoint where you can see, or you can view the mountains, the canyon itself. And there are other examples. Of course, a village. Well, a village is like a tiny town, you know, small town. And waterfall. I know that in Betulia, Santander, there are lots of waterfalls. In Girón, there are some. In Piedecuesta, there are some. On the way to Zapatoca, there are some. On the way to Charalá, there is
Florida.
in Florida. But yes, these are interesting places, beautiful places indeed, but we have to be careful because when it rains a lot, in Gambita too, you know, when it rains a lot, of course, the downstream is going to be more powerful. So we got to be careful with it. Good. So those are just some examples of features and sites, both man-made and naturally made, that are contemplated here on the book, plus the ones that are in the presentation, plus the ones that we are going to practice in this moment. So we have some, I have some activities, some extra online activities for us to practice, and then we will go for some communicative ones. Please click on the link that I just shared with you. Let's do it together, all right? So the idea for us is to simply match these vocabulary exercise. So as you can see, we have some others, like an iceberg, like a coral reef, sorry, and the jungle. But mainly we have worked in all of them. So what do you think this is? Look at the picture. The first one.
Mountain.
Mountain.
That's a mountain. Okay. This is a
Cliff.
cliff. What about this one?
Valley.
That's like a valley. We have valley, yeah.
Valley.
Okay, there we go. This is a
Island.
an island. This is an island. Good. We have, what is this?
Iceberg.
That's an iceberg. Like the one from the Titanic. This is a
River.
This is a river. Okay, river. What about this?
Sea.
This is the coral reef. We have some important coral reefs here in Colombia as well, and they are of utmost importance for, you know, the ocean life. We gotta take care of them. And they also serve as a natural defense when there are tsunamis and other geographical catastrophes. This is a, what do you think it is?
Lake.
That's a lake. Although to me, well, yeah, it's a lake. To me, it looks more like a lagoon. You know, lagoon is laguna, like the ones that we have in the moorland. Actually, moorland is another word. Moorland, they're in Santurban moorland, or even wetlands. Yeah. Any ideas as to why they are called wetlands? Why do you think that Santurban, for example, is called a wetland? Yes, but any ideas? An area of land that is naturally wet.
Nacimientos.
Well, wetland is like páramo, okay? Or moorland, it's also páramo. But they are called wetlands because son tierras húmedas, right? Donde hay nacimientos de agua. So normally they're very wetlands. An area of moor or wetlands, they are also called like that. And that's another one that is not here. Like Sumapaz, that's a very important one. Yeah, we have lots of moorlands here in Colombia. We gotta take care of them indeed. This is a
Waterfall.
waterfall. This is a
Jungle.
Jungle.
Jungle, like in the song, Welcome to the Jungle.
Yeah.
We have two more. This is
Desert.
a desert.
Desert.
This is a desert, and this is a
Volcano.
volcano. Okay, I think we finished with this one exercise. Let's check. Okay, you got them all correct. Good job. Congratulations. Now let's try another one. This one is to practice pronunciation. And of course, listening. So it's going to be for practice. There you go. So,
Glacier.
well, sounded a little bit awkward, but
Glacier.
like British, like it's glacier. So what do you think the answer is? 1, 2, 3, 4. You tell me the number of the picture.
Glacier.
4.
That's 4.
4. 4.
Like in La Patagonia, there are lots of glaciers there. This one,
Island.
okay, please. What number?
2.
2, that's correct. Here,
Valley.
valley,
4.
that's 4. Let's look, it looks like a valley.
Rainforest.
2.
Yeah, I would say 2. No, number 3 is an island.
Cliff.
Cliff.
Second.
3. 4. 4.
4.
Cliff.
The second.
No, the second isn't a mountain.
Like a valley, no?
Yeah, well,
Mountain.
like a mountain. I don't see the, well, maybe this land here could be like a tiny valley, but there is no river, so it cannot be regarded as a valley. But here, cliff.
Cliff.
So the last one is a cliff. And
Volcano.
Volcano.
First.
that's number 1. That's the first one. Okay. Okay.
Desert.
4.
4.
4.
Cave.
Okay. Cave is another one. That was not included. 3.
Mountain range.
5.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Waterfall.
I mean, it's the most accurate picture compared to the others.
Waterfall.
The second one.
The second, and
Glacier.
again,
3.
that's number 3. Okay, good. There you go. Nailed it. Congratulations and thank you very much for your participation. Now, let's get going. There is a video here of the 20, it's called 25 Greatest Natural Wonders of the World. I mean, we're not gonna watch the whole video because it's 35 minutes long. If you have the opportunity to watch it, it will be interesting because you can learn a lot about different places. But for the class, we're just gonna watch the first 10 minutes of the video. And what's the idea? There is a question that I'd like you to answer based on this video. Which of these places would you like to go and why? Individually, okay? Which of these places would you like to go and why individually? From the video, okay? If maybe these places from the video are not interesting for you, don't worry. You could always think of a different one that you have always wanted to go, for example, and one that you have always liked. So as usual, this is the link to the activity. The link to the video, sorry, maybe for you to rewatch it after the class or to add it to your own personal database of the studies. In any case, I will play the video from my screen. So the first 10 minutes, and then we will be exchanging answers, right? Which of these places would you like to go and why? Okay, if you choose only one, that's okay. One would be more than enough. I hope you like the video. Let's start. Remember to check the microphones. There is a microphone on. Erika, tienes el micrófono encendido.
Sorry.
Don't worry. Okay, good.
Massive glaciers, staggering mountains, plains dotted with wild animals. We sure live in a big, beautiful world. And while pinpointing all of Mother Nature's greatest hits could take a lifetime, we think these out-of-this-world landscapes and awe-inspiring wonders from Arizona to Antarctica need to move to the very top of your travel list. Number 25. Angel Falls. The tallest waterfall in the world, Angel Falls in Venezuela certainly makes for one of the most spectacular sights imaginable. Shooting off the summit of a tabletop mountain, the falls plunge 807 meters uninterrupted to the jungle below, with much of the water turning to mist before it reaches the ground. Adding in its other cascades and rapids and Angel Falls' total height, it is a whopping 979 meters. Due to its remote location in Canaima National Park, Angel Falls is quite hard to visit, though its stunning setting and awe-inspiring scenery certainly make it well worth the effort. Number 24. Giant's Causeway. Situated at the base of steep cliffs on the northeast coast of Ireland, the Giant's Causeway is a natural rock formation that does indeed look as if it were fashioned by giants. The honeycomb formation of hexagon-shaped basalt columns appears too geometrically perfect to have been shaped by nature. It actually took 60 million years of tectonic plate movement, lava flows, and erosion to fashion the stepping stone columns into their present shape. Clifftop trails offer great views of the rocks, and a flight of steps leads down to sea level. Number 23. Na Pali Coast. Dominating and defining the northwest of Kauai, the Na Pali Coast is one of Hawaii's most famous and photographed sites. Its gigantic, jagged cliffs rise to 1,200 meters above the sparkling waters of the Pacific Ocean, with scenic beaches and coves hidden below. As the rugged terrain is so inaccessible, the only way to visit is by hiking, kayaking, or helicopter, with phenomenal panoramas wherever you look. While it is famed for having featured in Jurassic Park, the grand and gorgeous stretch of coastline has appeared in numerous films and TV shows over the years. Number 22. Mount Everest. As the highest mountain in the world, Mount Everest attracts climbers of all levels, from well-experienced mountaineers to novice climbers willing to pay substantial sums to professional mountain guides to complete a successful climb. Although other 8,000ers, such as K2, are much more difficult to climb, Mount Everest still has many inherent dangers, such as altitude sickness, weather, and wind. At the base of Everest, Sherpas and mountaineers work overtime to prepare for their trip to the summit. Number 21. Pulpit Rock. One of the most famous and phenomenal sites in Norway, the prominent Pulpit Rock lies in the southwest of the country overlooking the lovely Lysefjorden. Formed during the last ice age, the sheer cliff towers 604 meters above its surroundings, with staggering views of the deep, dark waters and dramatic landscapes below. Due to the outstanding beauty, Pulpit Rock attracts hordes of tourists every year. Number 20. Wadi Rum. In southern Jordan is Wadi Rum, a desert valley known for its breathtaking scenery. There are no permanent settlements in this secluded desert region, but nomadic tribes do occasionally pass through. Although deserts are often imagined as dunes, Wadi Rum boasts sandstone mountains and towering granite cliffs. The distinctive reddish-orange colors that lend the area an otherworldly quality has brought several science fiction films here to replicate the Red Planet. Visitors can ride a camel across the amazing desert and camp out under the clear, star-filled sky. Number 19. Lake Baikal. The deepest and oldest lake on Earth, Lake Baikal is reputed to boast some of the clearest and cleanest waters around. To top it all off, the enormous freshwater lake contains more water than all of the Great Lakes in North America combined. With so many accolades to its name, it's no wonder that Lake Baikal is nicknamed the Pearl of Siberia. While the lake makes for fabulous viewing when the summer sun glints off its dark waters, it is no less impressive in the winter when it freezes up to 2 meters deep in parts. Whether it's ice skating across the surface or hiking along the scenic shoreline, Lake Baikal is a nature lover's dream. Number 18.
Okay, so one more. We will watch the information about the Maldives, and then we will continue with the question.
The Maldives. Located in the middle of the Indian Ocean, the idyllic Maldives archipelago is spellbindingly beautiful. Close to the equator, the Maldives has a warm and tropical climate that's perfect for lazy beach days all year round. This low-lying island group is celebrated for its high level of luxury and emphasis on the slow life. Perfect for honeymooners, the Maldives designer accommodation is out of this world. Take your pick of underwater villas, overwater villas, and everything in between. There's even an underwater restaurant for those looking to dine surrounded by schools of tropical fish. As relaxing is the key in the Maldives, you can spend your days sipping on cocktails and sunbathing, interspersed with a diving excursion to keep things interesting. Number 17.
Okay, so that'll do. I mean, the video is, I think it's interesting. You know, there's lots of information there, but we have to continue with the class. There are more activities. So let's stop it here. Now, I'd like you to please answer the question. Which of these places would you like to go or would you like to visit and why? This is going to be done individually. I will give you 5 minutes to organize your ideas and for you to answer the question, and then we will be listening to each other. If you need my help, please let me know. I'm going to be just here. Okay, so let's listen to you. Let me check the list. Maida, you're the first one. Let's start with you. Please and thank you.
I think I would like to visit the Maldives archipelago, the 18th. I prefer the warm and tropical climate, and I like places that we that I can relax, so it can be ideal. And I would like to visit the restaurants and doing a diving excursion. Yes, I think it can be interesting and beautiful.
Okay, Maida, perfect. Thank you very much for your participation. So the Maldives archipelago, great. Anna, let's try with you, please and thank you.
Yes, I would like to go to all these places, but I have two that I really like it. Maldives and like Baikal. Um, I don't know how to say how to pronounce.
Yeah, the
No,
Baikal Lake
yeah,
I said Russia, but it's not Russia, it's Siberia and the
yes,
Maldives. Okay.
yes. These places surprise me. Uh, the like Baikal, bueno, uh, because have all the Great Lakes in North America combined, and it's amazing. Thank you.
Okay, Anna, perfect. Thank you very much. Yeah, that is indeed, we were discussing it before. It's the biggest lake in the world. It was included in the video. Baikal Lake, it's in Siberia. Perfect. Thank you. Anderson, it's your turn. Let's listen to you, please.
Okay, de antemano, perdón si mi internet está malito hoy. So, if I have the opportunity to know some place, I would like to know the Lake Baikal, because be able to know the most oldest and deepest lake on the air, without doubt, will be a flawless experience. And also, I am not with the warm or cold weather in extreme, but if I have to choose, I prefer the cold. So that this place is better option for me, for its landscape. The outlook looks nice too, and its animals are interesting for me. And the frozen lake looks like pretty beautiful too. So that's my option.
Okay, Anderson, perfect. Thank you very much. Yeah, speaking of wildlife, it's different from what we are used here, from what we are used to here in Colombia. So it would be an interesting thing to consider if you had a chance to go there. Thank you very much for your participation. Now let's try with Andrea, please and thank you.
I would like to go to Angel Falls. I saw that last week a person from Venezuela visited the Canaima National Park. Looks really beautiful. The mountains, the rivers, and waterfall look like a paradise. Maybe the bad thing is that in the zone there are many mosquitoes, but it looks very nice. In fact, in the movie Up, created by Disney, inspiring his calls on this place in Venezuela. So I really like this movie. It's sweet and fun.
Okay, Andrea, perfect. Thank you very much. Yeah, because of the area, because of the weather conditions that we can find there, of course, there are too many mosquitoes and they will eat you alive. So an insect repellent would be great in order to go there. Now, yes, it's part of different movies, Up being one of such, and there is another one called Breaking Point. It was released maybe 10 years ago, give or take a few. And the Angel Falls are also featured in this movie and many others. Thank you very much for having mentioned up. That's a very good example in which we can see the up representation of these falls, which are the highest, tallest falls in the world. So thank you very much. Andres Alvarez, let's start with you, please, and thank you.
Okay. Layana, just I choose the Maldives because for me, probably they are the most beautiful islands, and probably it's a great place to rest for a few days, I suppose. It's a good place to go to holidays or vacations.
Okay, Andres, perfect. Thank you very much. Yes, those islands are indeed like heaven on earth, you know? So yeah, it'd be really cool. Thank you very much. It's full of resorts and beautiful, transparent, crystal-like waters, greenish waters, as you can see from the video. It must be a really good experience. So thank you very much, Andres, for your participation. Now, everybody, please remember the tongue twister we came up with in last class. So Iceland is an island that is not Ireland, and Ireland is another island that is not Iceland. It will help you with the pronunciation of these three words. Great. Now let's try with Angelica. Let's listen to you. Please and thank you.
Hi, teacher. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
I choose Maldives also. So because I think that it is beautiful. The nature it's different. I forget the word in English. Endemica.
Endemic.
Endemic. Okay, thank you. Endemic animals and plants. So it's an exotic island. So I choose for that, and also because the famous water sports and activities that they that you can do in this island.
Okay, Angelica, perfect. Thank you very much for your participation. You did great. If you like, you can check the link that I shared with you in the chat about endemic in the dictionary. Good. Now let's continue with Azucena. Please, let's listen to you.
Good night, teacher. And good night, everybody.
Hello, good evening.
I really interested. I am really interested about the Pacific Ocean. So I think a better place to visit in this case is the Hawaii island called Napali Coast. It's very beautiful. I saw it in the video and I saw it in many sites about Hawaii. And I think it's a beautiful place with a big places to visit, and the people there are very interesting because have a culture different about us, about Colombian culture. So it's very interesting about me, and I think it's very cool because the Jurassic Park movie is my favorite. So that's my opinion about that.
Okay, Azucena, perfect. Thank you very much. Yeah, as well as with the Aging Falls and maybe some of the features, geographical features we watched this video, we have been discussing Hawaii indeed is very famous along with tourists and in movies, Jurassic Park being one of such. And something interesting about Hawaiian culture, it's the practice of ho'opono, something like that. I don't know if you have heard of that. It's like a special, sorry?
The name is Rapa Nui culture.
The Rapa Nui culture. Ah, okay, great, perfect. So you know more than I do. Yeah, it's an interesting like ritual that they have there about forgiving, about love, about life. You know, that's an interesting perspective. So thank you very much for having brought this up to this conversation. You did a great job there. Now let's try with Bryant, please. Let's listen to you.
Okay, I would like to travel to Maldives. I have to see this wonderful place because I can't believe it can be so fantastic. It's unreal. I want to go there and drink piña colada using sunglasses and mosquito repellent on my skin.
Yeah, definitely. Insect repellent is one of your best friends there. And piña colada is delicious. One of my favorite cocktails for being at the beach. Hey, Brian, perfect. Thank you very much for your participation. Daniela, let's try with you, please, and thank you.
Hi. Well, I would like to visit Island Malvinas. Why? First, I am a chilly person, so I hate cold places. Second, I am a romantic person, so I would like to see couples, or why not go with my love. Three, for me, it's a curious that Malvinas thought is in South American. His government is British. For me, that is interesting. Four, I see that it seems to clean and clear. I love orden. I love the orden. So that is a good place to rest, like video say. And finally, I haven't been to the beach in a long time. So that is a good opportunity to go.
Okay, Daniela. Sorry. Okay, Daniela, perfect. Thank you very much for your participation. Yeah, they are in South America, just after La Patagonia. They're in Argentina, if I'm not mistaken, if my geography knowledge is not wrong. I remember my geography classes from school, they were really cool. So the Malvins, yeah, they are there, down there, and they are not part, I mean, like you yourself said, they are in South America, but they are not, they do not belong to South America, or not even to Argentina. I think they belong to the UK. So this is what we call as overseas, you know, or ultramar, un territorio en ultramar, such as the Malvins, and such as, for example, the, you call them in Spanish, las Antillas Holandesas, which is in the Caribbean, like Aruba, Curacao, and Martin, but they are part of the Netherlands. Stephanie says, yes, UK being active as usual. And well, Europe, mainly speaking, because we can also talk about the Spanish people when they came here back in 1492. And same thing happened there in the United States of America with the first tribes and bah, yeah, good, perfect. Daniela, thank you very much for your participation. The Malvins indeed are a very interesting tourist destination. Diana, let's try with you, please, and thank you.
Okay, good night. If I get the chance, I would like to visit Iceland to see the northern lights. Well, actually, it can be seen in many countries like Norway, Greenland, Iceland, Swedish. Well, I think this is a spectacular light show. In Iceland, you can also explore other natural wonders like volcanoes, glaciers, natural hot springs, and some others. Thanks.
Okay, Diana, perfect. Thank you very much for your participation. Yeah, that's an interesting destination, you know, it's full of different geographical contexts and contrasts. Like you have volcanoes there, but you also have glaciers, which is kind of wow, you know, and the Northern Lights being a very beautiful, amusing, natural spectacle, which can be seen from different parts of the world. But definitely the Northern Lights there in Iceland are one of the most beautiful ones. So thank you very much for your participation. Now let's try with Harold, please, and thank you.
Hi, teacher. Hi, guys. I've seen that any of these places will be amazing, but I think that being in Mount Everest will be the greatest experience because I know that this place is unique and only few people can be there. And I see this like a challenging place. For that, I choose one. I choose this.
Okay, Harold, perfect. Thank you very much for your participation. Now let's try with Jennifer, please, and thank you.
Hi, Professor. Hi,
Hello.
everybody. I would like to go to Angels Falls because I think it's the nearest place from here. And it's the tallest waterfall in the world. And I love to see I love being in peaceful places, so I think it will be a great experience and to maybe go there one day.
Great, Jennifer. Thank you very much for your participation. Now let's try with John, please, John Carrero.
Yes, teacher. Hi. The place that I like to visit is the Mount Everest. So that's the one because I really want to have this adventure. So this is the highest mountain in the world, and I've heard that there is a challenge go there. So that's the main reason why I like to try it. Even though when I'm not good at climbing um, or being adapted to higher temperatures, so I go like to try.
Okay, John, thank you very much for your participation. Yeah, that's a very challenging climbing experience, you know. But if you prepare yourself to do it, I'm sure that you can do it. That will be really, really, really cool.
Yes.
Something interesting about Mount Everest deals with global warming. The other day, I was reading a piece of news that was about the main basement there, El Campamento Principal, where climbers would spend part of their adventure, part of their experience. They had to move it because of global warming. So I don't know if it's now in a higher part of the mountain or it's lower than before, but something happened there in Mount Everest because precisely global warming. That's something I read the other day. I just wanted to share it with you. Great, John. Thank you very much. Now let's try with Jordan, please. And thank you.
Hi, I would like to go the Maldives because as a warm and tropical climate, that's perfect for lazy beach days, perfect for couples. There's even an underwater restaurant for those looking to dine surrounded.
Like you mean underwater, but completely underwater, or maybe just water covering, I don't know, half of your body completely underwater? Jordan?
Excuse me?
Completely underwater? Totally underwater? I mean, like this is you in water, goes up This hop? This
Yes.
high? Oh my
Yes.
God. Restaurant underwater. Underwater restaurant, underwater restaurant. Oh. Okay. Okay, I understood something different, but it's cool. Okay, it seems fantastic. Okay. Great, Jordan. Perfect. Thank you very much. I understood something. Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you very much for your participation. Yeah, I thought it was like, how can you eat underwater? Was it maybe? Yeah. You got me wrong. I got you wrong there. Great. Thank you, Jordan. Luisa, let's try with you, please. Let's listen to you.
Well, I would like to go to the Maldives or Napali coast because I still don't know the sea. And I always want to know it, and I think it's beautiful, and I hope to know it soon, whether Cartagena or Pacific coast. I don't know.
You know, there is, thank you very much for your participation. Cartagena, it's fantastic, you know? Well, the Maldives are very clear there. Cartagena is fantastic. The Maldives indeed are fantastic too. But if you want to maybe try something different and cheaper, because Cartagena can be really, really expensive, especially during high season, meaning December, Christmas, and the season we are in right now, probably January. You could always go to, for example, San Bernardo del Viento. There is something called like Playas del Francés or something like that, which is beautiful and it's not that expensive. Of course, Cartagena is worth visiting. Santa Marta is also worth visiting, like the Tayrona Park and the different caves that we have there, like some Juan del Cabo, something like that, where you can see greenish waters and aquamarine waters too. And we have this kind of islands here in Colombia too. The thing is that maybe we're not aware of that. So you can, it's on the Pacific borderline region where you can normally see this. And there is, for example, Titipan, Santa Cruz del Islote, and Santa Cruz del Islote it's interesting because it's the most densely populated place on Earth. And there are some interesting activities for you to do there, and it's not that expensive, and it's a great experience. Great, thank you very much. Now let's try with Sylvia, please, and thank you.
Yeah, I would like to go to the Maldives because I think it's a paradise for all of us who like the beach. And the marine life and also the culture make it a very interesting and incredible place. And I know that to get to the main island is necessary to landing in the sea. I don't know, is landing como acuatizar, because they don't have an airport. So this is a make interesting destination.
Yeah, I'm thinking of that particular word. It's a water landing. Well, landing comes from land, so I wouldn't call that. Let me check. Let's ask the all-knowing Google. So what is the word in English for aquatizar? I think the spelling is aquatizar. Is it like that or with S maybe? I have no idea. Oh, it's actually with Z, okay? Aquatizar. Now let's go for Lingi. Okay, let's try with Google again. Let's seem to find it. Like, well, it says come down. Yeah, land on water or calm down on water. So it has to do with land. That's unusual, you know, because land, well, land, water. Land on water. Well, I'll find it. Okay, I'll find it. We gotta continue with the others. Great. Thank you very much for your participation. Now let's try with Stephanie. Please, let's listen to you.
Hi, teacher. I saw all the options of the video, so I would like to see the Serengeti migration in Africa. I love and admire animals, and for me, it would be amazing to see all these wild animals in their natural environment. I don't like zoos because it's hard to tell if the species there are rescued or have been violently captured and put into captivity.
Okay, Stephanie, thank you very much. Yeah, that's something we have to consider when being responsible tourists, you know. Not all activities are good for other species, like for animals who live under captivity and that have been mistreated. That's why that's something that we as responsible tourists have to take into consideration. So thank you very much for having brought this up in the conversation. Now, Gilbert, let's listen to you, please. Gilbert?
Okay, sorry, teacher. So for me, I really like the animals, and so the island, the Galapagos Island, I think that is a cool place. Yeah, the best place to visit because not only for the animals, the place, it's for the history about that island, about you know the in that place was born the evolution theory. So there is some fantastic animals. I think that is so interesting to learn more about it, about his evolution.
Okay, Gilbert, thank you very much. Yeah, indeed, the Galapagos Island are the origin of many species. That's a very important geographical place, geographical positioning for biologists, you know, in terms of especially those who focus on evolution. That's very, we have like the tortoise from the Galapagos, for example, which is a very interesting indeed. So thank you, Gilbert, so much for your participation. Last but not least, let's try with Judy, please, and thank you. Gilbert, your mic is still on.
Hi, teacher. Can you hear me?
Yes. Hello.
Okay. I like to go to Angel Falls because in this special place there is the highest waterfall in the world, and there are a lot of views to see. And it's the best option for me because I love heights. That's it.
Heights?
Heights. Sorry.
Okay. Great. Perfect. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's right. So here you are. Good. I guess everybody participated, right? Is there maybe somebody who has not participated? Let me check your names again. No, I think everybody participated. So great. Perfect. Thanks a lot for having been so active in this class. I will be sharing the presentation with you. I just have to make some changes because the animals are not part of this, although we can talk about the wildlife that is endemic to different places there. Well, it's not included in the book, so let's not go for it. So I guess that we can stop it here for today. Remember, we have classes tomorrow, and then we will continue with classes on Friday. Please, it's important that you start working on Moodle in case you have not done it. Remember that we finish classes on the 13th of December. That is to say next Tuesday. I'm sure that maybe you are busy with all of the other activities and responsibilities that you have. And well, it's Christmas time, so we need time for preparation and for the festivities and everything. But please remember to work on Moodle. Okay, the first project advance, which is due for next Monday. Remember that next Monday or Friday, we will have like a previous revision in class, and then you will have to send it to my email. I'll be checking your first project advances. And next Tuesday is also the submission of the first exam, which covers units 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we started unit 3 back on last Friday, and you will continue with some other activities, and then we will move into unit 4. Okay, good. So my dear students, we can stop here for today. I want to thank you so much for your attention and for your participation. You have a 10-minute break, and then you will continue classes with Professor Marilyn. Okay, thank you so much, everybody. Have a good one. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Mhm.